All right, glad to have you back. Now, digital inclusion in emerging markets involves leveraging technologies like mobile banking and digital payment platforms to provide accessible and affordable financial, health, and education services to previously underserved populations. Now, this accelerates economic growth and helps reduce poverty, but faces challenges such as digital divide and regulatory hurdles. The rapid expansion of mobile network coverage and smartphone penetration has been the primary driver, allowing services to reach remote areas where traditional physical infrastructures like bank branches is limited. My next conversation is focused on digital inclusion in emerging markets, and my guest is founder, product lead, SmartSave, Eniola Temitope Taiwo. Thank you so much. It's good to have you on the program. Now, let me start with asking you, how would you define digital inclusion in emerging markets?
All right. Thank you for having me here today. Digital inclusion in emerging market has to do with bringing everyone along, carrying everyone along in the digital world. And what do I mean by this? We do not have anyone left behind, or whether because of your income, disability, gender, location, or even fear of technology. I can remember while growing up, I grew up in an environment where we have little access or non-existence of digital tools or digital access. My secondary school days, we do not have computer lab, we do not have things like this available. So when we talk about digital inclusion, it has to do with carrying everyone along, irrespective of your race or who you are.
To you, what are the major barriers to digital inclusion?
Just to mention a few, because there are several barriers to digital inclusion, and the critical ones we have is cost of devices and data. Nigeria is known to have the highest cost of data in Africa, not the highest, maybe one of the highest in Africa relative to their income. And this was confirmed by Alliance for Affordable Internet that reports that over 60% of Nigerians cannot afford a basic 1 gigabyte data plan when it is compared to their income level. And when we talk about digital inclusion or digital world itself, we can't have access to digital world without data or some particular devices. So cost of data and devices is a key barrier. And also I will talk about low digital literacy. Things are improving, and that's, to be very honest, things are really improving, but still we have low digital literacy. People don't know, some people don't know about things like this. When you get to some rural communities and some places, they don't know about what we call digital tools. They don't know about what we call financial or banking apps. We still have people use or call people to transfer money to a POS person just to withdraw it. So we need to educate people. And ECOWAS and UNESCO highlight that digital literacy rate in rural West Africa remains below 30% as we speak. And also, lastly, let me just mention lack of trust in technology. And this is key and profound in our community in Nigeria, where people don't believe technology. And as the founder of SmartSave, I've had relationship with people where they believe their account balance can disappear over the night, so they don't just want to use it. So people don't trust in technology. They don't trust in technology at all. Just to mention a few, these are key barriers that we are facing in digital inclusion today.
Interesting stuff now, but let me ask, how accessible is internet connectivity? That's one challenge that, like in Nigeria here, in some rural communities, they still don't have access to internet. How do they now take advantage of this?
Okay, when we talk about connectivity, connectivity is available, is quite available, but connectivity does not equate accessibility. So you might be connected and you cannot access the necessary digital apps you want to access. I don't know for people, but I have experienced it so long or so much that when you get to a particular app, it keeps rolling because you don't have network. You're connected to the internet, but it's not accessible. And even according to NCC, about 27% of rural communities have reliable, maybe 3G stroke 4G access, just 3G, where the world today is dealing with 5G. So even if they are connected, sometimes it's quite slow, sometimes it is expensive, and sometimes it is unstable.
But now, how can affordability of devices also be improved?
Affordability of devices, yes, this is key. Because if you cannot afford these devices, there's no way you can have access to digital tools. We can have financing scheme. I know we are getting there, and I know there are some companies that are really into this. And at some point, I think MTN has a partnership with Integra, where people get smartphone and they pay installment payment. We can also have partnership between telecommunication companies and manufacturers, company like Techno and Itel, just to mention a few, where they can partner together. And also maybe government tax incentives and local assembly could also reduce costs even further. We can also have community-based ownership models where community have different groups, things like cooperatives, where they can buy phones for their people and they get to pay back instrumentally. So this is going to increase affordability of devices.
Interesting. But I'm also wondering, are there initiatives addressing data costs?
Yeah. We have initiatives. I wouldn't dispute that fact. We have initiatives, and they are growing. I know MTN, Etel, and just to mention them, they run data promo or data bundle. Sometimes they say student package, or there are different initiatives that I can mention. And also the NCC, Nigeria Communications Commission, introduced policies to push down broadband pricing. And also, Google's Equinix subsea cable has already increased their broadband capacity, and it is expected to reduce data prices gradually. So if the broadband capacity is being increased, cost of data is going to reduce gradually.
But let's now look at efforts supporting digital literacy now, particularly, I want to be particular now, for women and youth.
When we talk about organization or efforts that has been in place or that has been put to place, we have strong initiatives, which I have been a beneficiary of one. She Code Girls, where I learned how to some basic skills, tech skills, which is just for women. For youth, we have Google Digital Skills for Africa. We have Digital Girls Club. Yes, I think this is by the Federal Ministry of Communications. I think they are the organizer of this. We have Technovision Girls Challenge. So this, we can see that programs are coming up just to bridge this gap. We don't have them sufficient, but we have these things in place.
So you think more needs to come on stream, right? For us to be able to bridge that gap. What do you think?
Yes, please. Yes, we do need more of this.
What gender-related challenges affect digital inclusion?
Okay, gender. When we talk about gender-related challenges, I'm going to talk about women. And I know women still faces lone phone ownership, where they don't have a phone of themselves. So maybe they share a phone with someone or with their husbands. We also have financial dependency on male family members. And when you are financially dependent on someone, especially maybe your husband or maybe a family member who is a male family member, maybe your brother, you don't have access to some things. You cannot go for the kind of phones you want. Maybe you are lucky enough to get a button phone or things like that. We also have a higher fear of online fraud. The way men see fraud, I think most men are being strong or built over time, but still, women still don't like things like that. They don't want to experience. No one wants to literally experience things like that. But we would say women still face maybe the fear, yes, the fear of online fraud and low exposure to digital skills. Thank God for organizations coming with programs, initiatives to encourage women to join or to be on board or to come on board. But we have low exposure to digital skills when it comes to, because people believe women should be maybe in the kitchen or maybe caring for the family or taking care of the kids.
Now let's now look at policies. Now, what policies support digital inclusion and what gaps remain?
Okay, so there are also policies in place, which I wouldn't dispute. We have Nigerian Digital Economy Policy. We also have a Nigeria Broadband Plan 2020-25. We have FinTech Sandbox by the CBN. Also, we have National Digital Literacy Framework. But still, we have gaps that are remaining. We have gaps like high taxation on devices. We have slow implementation. Because if for you to get a good device now, when you check the tax rate on those devices, they're quite high. We have limited rural broadband expansion. Imagine when, I know it might look like a movie where people need to access the internet. Some people have to climb the tree. Some people need to move somewhere. Some people need to move to a particular place just to access the internet. And we also have lack of disability focused digital policy. When we look at digital tools that are out there, most of these tools are just built for everyone generally. So we don't consider people who are disabled, maybe people that cannot see very well. We don't consider some things. So these are the gaps that are remaining that we still need to look into.
What innovations are driving digital inclusion at the moment?
Okay, there are key innovations, but just to mention a few, we have USSD banking. So USSD banking has to do with people who cannot have access to like the major maybe phones that you can access online.
Yeah, internet banking and all.
The internet banking. Thank you. So you can use your USSD code by dialing a short code, then you see the balance. It shows inclusion. It shows that you are not just forcing them to come on board. We also have local language digital tools where even if you don't understand English, you can use your local language. Yes, just to make sure you are able to use these digital tools. We have AI-driven onboarding also, where you can get onboarded through the help of AI. We also have WhatsApp-based fintech services that are in place, and which also SmartSave is key and is looking into. We don't just bring people online, we connect with them. We make sure everyone is included using the WhatsApp agent support and even hand-to-hand handshake to get people included.
Now, how does digital inclusion impact economic opportunities? Let's relate this now.
Yeah, this is so relatable. And when we talk about digital inclusion impacting economic opportunity, any society or any organization who is digitally inclusive, you would see that there'll be more efficient service delivery, because they know about these things. They know how to operate the apps. They have access to these things. So things that you're supposed to use hours for, you get to do them in minutes because you have access to the digital tools and people are included. People know how to use it. Not that you just have access to it. People can actually use it and you get efficient and effective service delivery. It also creates job opportunity in the economy, because people know how to use tools. They can get employed even overseas, even abroad. They can get employment anywhere in the world because they are quite good with using the digital tools. We also have education access. Digital inclusion impacts economic opportunities through education. People have access to tools like learning online, YouTube videos, and maybe getting the course done online, financial empowerment, access to global markets, as I said earlier.
Now, how can cross-sector partnerships improve digital inclusion outcomes?
Cross-sector partnership. For us to achieve a balanced digital inclusion, we need collaborations between the government. We need government to give us policies, favorable policies. We need telecommunication companies. We need them for connectivities. Yeah, we need solid network. We need fintech companies also. We need them for tools. So just one company or one sector cannot do this. We need sectors to come together. We need NGOs for education. Like we need them to engage people, to teach people. We also need schools. As I said earlier, I don't know if that still happens today. We don't have a computer lab while growing up in a school. And we were taught computer, funny enough. So things like this, we need literacy, we need people to be educated. And we also need maybe disability organization to open up, give us things we need to know about these people in order for us to build a super inclusion or a digital inclusion environment for everyone.
Now, before I let you go now, finally, now, how do cultural or social norms influence access to technology?
Culture plays a huge role when it comes to technology or access to technology. I know for sure many older people fear smartphones. Yeah. Many older people, they don't want to see it. Yeah. Even in the world, this is not just Nigeria based. Some people have smartphone with them, but they don't use it. I have someone who have, not just someone, I've spoken to few people who have smartphone, but they don't use it. They say, don't call me on my mobile number. Please call me on my landline. And when you get to converse with them, they feel like it is not safe. Something can happen. Somebody, just by talking to someone on the phone, they believe they can extract your data from the phone. So culture plays a huge role. We have parents restrict children, girls' children especially, from using devices, and reasons best known to them, maybe for security and all. And also some people believe digital tools encourage bad behavior. They believe when you have access to these things, you go haywire, which truly it doesn't mean that. It could just be maybe education. You just need to educate people more. So culture plays a huge role and has influence when it comes to access to technology.
So finally, let me ask you, what would be your outlook for the entire, what's it called, talking about digital inclusion and all? What do you expect moving on? Do you think we would do better than we're doing if all of these challenges are addressed and all? What's just your outlook for it?
So to say my final word today about digital inclusion, which is key, and I'm going to mention 2 points. Everyone can be carried along. I know that can be ambiguous by using the word everyone. So you don't need to get everyone automatically to get to use a digital app. But one way or the other, you can carry people along. It has to do with building trust. Building trust first. Let them understand why they need these things. So building trust, trying to tell people okay, let me use the word educating people, just educating people. That is one. And lastly, I would say digital companies should build apps with people in mind. You don't build app for people. You don't build it for them. Okay, I built it, come and use it. So for you to include them, for you to carry people along, what do people really know? What do people really need to know? What is the need of people? So you need to build digital tools with people in mind, and you don't build it for people. So this helps us to achieve a better digital inclusion where we carry everyone along, not leaving anyone behind.
And your latte me talk better. I must thank you so much. Founder, product lead, Smart Save. Do enjoy the rest of your day and hope to see you again on the show soon.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Do have a wonderful day. Bye.
All right, then, you too.